Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
Wanted to jump in and introduce, for those who don't know, Mr. Zach Johnson, professional golfer. Oh, wait, that's not right. That's wrong, Zach. Who put these notes together?
There is one, though.
There is?
Yeah.
Yes?
He must get sick and tired of being asked about farming.
Do you think he gets all your fan mail?
I would imagine so. Yeah, because it's not coming to me, so.
Mr. Millennial Farmer himself. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Farm Progress Show 23, and you haven't seen any of it yet.
I saw the FBN booth, and then I was at the Polaris booth for an hour, and now I've seen all 40 acres of the deer booth.
All 40 acres. It's half the show.
Yeah.
Isn't it a great place to sit? We had a fun conversation yesterday about this old John Deere D. Sitting here as they celebrate the birthday. It's a lot of fun to sit here and interact with everybody. So glad you could come over and hang out.
Yeah, this is cool. Thank you guys for having me on again.
So it's been a couple years since we actually had you on. We've hung out with you a few times between then. I know you've had some life-changing things that you've purchased something, something that's not an ag, and like the shooting range. What do you call that?
Yeah, so we bought in with, there's 3 other partners in it, so there's 4 families of us total. But yeah, we bought into the Alexandria Shooting Park, which is the largest trap range in Minnesota. We've got 20 trap houses there, and we have actually the largest shooting event in the world every summer. So it's been a lot of fun. In June, we brings through about 8,000 to 9,000 high school shooters and about 30,000 people over the course of 9 days.
Really?
That's a lot.
What made you do that? Were you a big shooter?
No, I'm not. I'm not a huge shooter. So I did a lot of hunting back in high school. Scaled back on that a lot when I got a little bit older and I had to spend more time in the tractors during hunting season. But I've always enjoyed shooting. I've enjoyed hunting, and I've got a good friend, Stephen Gould, who actually married my wife's best friend, and we had talked for a long time about how cool it would be to have some sort of a business revolving around shooting sports. And he's got great connections within the industry, so he actually has a YouTube channel, a couple YouTube channels. He's done exhibition shooting with his brother over the years, and he's got a YouTube channel now he calls Target Focused Life, and he does a lot of shotgun reviews, and he's very well connected within the industry. And when the opportunity to buy that park came along, he talked to me about it, and he talked to a couple other friends about it, and we got a good group together and decided we were going to go in and make it happen. They were willing to sell, and they wanted to sell to young guys that wanted to keep it as a shooting park, because it's right on the outskirts of Alexandria, Minnesota, which is a decent-sized town. About, I think it says 13,000 on the sign, but the city limits are small. It's at least double that. There's a lot of tourism there. It's a busy town. The shooting park is right on the interstate, so it's good real estate. Yeah. And I think they knew there's opportunity there for the shooting park to turn into something else, and they didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
And so that's our intention, is to keep it as a shooting park right now.
So are you a trap shooter? Have you shot a perfect score?
I have not shot a perfect score. My son has shot multiple perfect scores.
Wow.
He outshoots me pretty easily.
Just watch the bird.
Yep.
Shoot the bird, right?
Simple as that. That's all you got to do.
It takes. Yeah.
Have you ever sold a shooting park, Dave?
I haven't sold a shooting park.
He's been trying to buy one.
I've been trying to source one for
that's what it was.
Ballard Trap Shooting Club. They're looking for one. And so my son just got into trap shooting this last year, and they're like, hey, you're the guy that sells farmland. We need a spot. Can you get it? But I don't know how much money they make. I'm still working on that to monetize it for them. But there's some really cool ones out there, but you got to have a love for it. And everybody that gets into it, they're all good shooters, and man.
Yeah. It's cool to see how fast that sport has grown with the younger generation. Because guys our age didn't grow up shooting trap.
No.
The older generation and the younger generation did.
It skipped.
Yeah, It did. It definitely did.
I shot some skeet and some sporting clays at like the Isaac Walton League, but we didn't have it in high school.
Yeah, we didn't either.
Right? And now it's everywhere.
I felt like I did more target practice.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, or shoot clays with your buddies or whatever.
Like in our small town, our school where my kid is, their trap team, I went to the meeting and I thought, okay, there'll be 5 or 6 kids. There's like 85.
Holy cow.
There's a lot that are there, and they're just one of the schools. I think it's a growing sport. So,
very much.
And
so,
a lot of females in the game. They say that they shoot without any emotion, so it's easier. They don't get frustrated. Us guys apparently get really frustrated when we miss, and then we keep missing.
Yes.
What? How do
That
they
is a
shoot?
real thing.
That is
Is
a
it
real
really?
thing.
Because my wife has a ton of emotion. I don't think that.
Just towards you.
oh, that's.
Like when you miss a golf
They
shot.
have a good
you-
separation of emotion. So they say that in grain marketing too. They're better grain marketers.
Yeah. There you go.
Because you don't want to have emotion in grain marketing.
There you go.
No.
You get too tied to the product.
No, you don't.
How do crops look up there for you this year, Zach?
I'm hoping we have an average crop.
Yeah.
We have a bad rootworm problem in our corn again this year.
Yeah?
Which is weird. I mean, we haven't had that issue in 20 years, but even the Smart Stack corn is struggling with it. So we've got rootworm issues. We were really dry until about the third week in July.
Okay.
So things were really starting to burn up and twist up pretty good, and then the rain turned on, and we've been good since then. But I don't know how much we took off the top before that. So I'm hoping for average. But the good news is we've had a lot of heat, so I think the corn is going to be pretty dry. We're pretty far along right now.
How hot did you get last week when we were like 120 heat index?
It
I
was
think.
warm.
I think we were 115 or
Really?
so,
Okay.
110 to 115.
So it got up there.
Yeah.
It did some damage to our corn. I know that.
That's probably almost hot enough to start boiling those 10,000 lakes.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily they don't boil. You just keep standing in them and drinking beer.
That is fair. Well, I've got a favor before we get too far into this to ask you. We've had suggestions that a great interview would be to interview your hired hand.
Jim?
Yes.
So
How can we get that done?
I mean, I can put in a good word for you, and we'll see what he says. Jim is one of those guys that, like, on the outside, in person, he's a tough guy, right? But he's a softie, so he might go for it.
Yeah.
The first time I handed him a camera, and I was like, "All right, Jim, you have to record this." oh, geez, that stupid camera, you know. And then we start editing the videos, and he's talking to it. He loves it. It's like, Jim, you've loved the camera the whole time. You just had to be a tough guy around it.
That's
so
good.
he maybe would. It'd probably be an interesting. If you could open him up, it'd probably be a pretty good podcast.
Is that in his job description? Is camera guy?
It's not.
No.
But you know, he's only worked for us for 30 years, so we haven't had a chance to write a description.
no description yet.
You can go on the podcast, Jim, but you're clocking out. Not on my dime.
That's good. I bet you it soars right up there and passes that tile in episode that we did together.
Yep.
Probably jump right to the top.
Yeah.
All right.
We need to get him when he's coming through Iowa so we can do it in person. It's always better in person.
Oh, always.
Yep.
So we've got you here and want to be respectful of your time. We always put together a summary episode or a recap episode of the payoff question that we put together for our listeners. So at the end of every show, if you recall, we always have a question. And it happens to be the same one for a quarter or for 6 months of the year, depending upon how good and repetitive our answers start to get.
Yep.
Okay.
So what we've got to reflect on today is the answers from some of our guests that is the advice they would have gone back and told themselves at age 18. So that's the base question. It was, what would you do if you could go back and stand next to yourself and give yourself advice at age 18? Now, we know some of us probably wouldn't listen to ourselves.
Right.
None of us would.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what some of these takeaways were. We had many more, but I think I just copy and pasted down about 8 of them. So we certainly don't need to go through all of them. But that's kind of the premise of the episode. As you work through your YouTube channel and the impressions that you're able to, basically hand out, how much of your audience is young, under 20 years old?
Under 20 years old, I would say right now, because my audience has noticeably gotten older as I have.
Yeah.
Under 20, 30, 40% probably.
That's still a big number. Are you surprised, guys, when we show up at these shows, how many young listeners come up to us
Yeah.
and either say thank you or just reach out and say that we're doing a good job? Like, I didn't expect that. I'd expect people to come up and ask for a koozie and want stickers and an air freshener, but to come up and want to tell you that you're doing something they like. So it's kind of neat to put that into perspective.
I'm just as surprised, though, when a 75-year-old comes up and says he listens to our podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know how to download a podcast? They're smart. They're smart.
Some of those guys are the first guys that caught on to my channel.
Yes.
Yep.
And now it's them and the grandkid watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
The
it's just like the range is all over the board from
What a-
age 1 to 100.
What a bonding time with your
Yeah.
grandchild, right?
Right.
if you can get my neighbor's a grandpa, and if he can send it to his grandson, what a cool thing to text your grandson. Check this out.
Right.
Right.
Yep. Have that in common with them and
Yep.
have something to talk about.
Yeah. I'm going to start with Joy Van Weingarten.
Okay.
So Joy was a really fun episode, one that I don't think we expected to be as good as it was. And I don't mean that as anything against Joy, but her personality was infectious.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun. But I can see where this is. She says pick friends that are where you want to go and hang out with like-minded people. And I can see her doing that.
I like it.
Well, he does. He's got YouTube friends in the shooting world.
That's right.
YouTube for YouTube.
Yeah.
I align with that, though, because if you hang out with, I'm not going to say lesser, but like you hang out with the same old ones and maybe they're like, you don't need to go do that, just sit here, drink beer with us or whatever. Like, they just drag you down, right?
So as you've grown your YouTube presence, grown your area of content creation, has it changed the people that you've hung out with?
I mean, it's definitely, I've met a lot of new people. It's broadened my horizons. I've learned a lot about how things are done differently, but yet within agriculture. But, day to day, week to week, on the weekends, I'm still hanging out with the same people that I was before I started the channel. So I've got the same friends back home, but I have new people that I now keep in touch with too, and new friends that have come along with it.
I think that's the fun part of having a platform, of having a podcast, is the people that you can correspond with. All the corresponding I do with them is sending TikToks back and forth.
Well, that's
Right.
fun too.
That is fun. It is, but I feel like that's a level of personality exchange. Maybe a time suck, right? But,
Right.
But
A
it's
little bit.
time that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your TV time.
That's my TV time.
So the next one I'll pick because it's the shortest one on here and I can't read. Tom Stanton from Red Star said, don't be afraid to move and don't be afraid to try something new. For me personally, sometimes I don't want to do that thing that makes me uncomfortable, but I've gotten to the point of realizing when I become uncomfortable and get through it, it's so much better for me professionally, personally, mentally. Have you had to have issues or had issues of pushed through something you don't want to do?
He's sitting here right
I have
now.
a YouTube channel.
He is sitting here right here. He did not want to. His contract obligates him to be here. I'm here so I don't get fined.
Mostly just talking to you guys. Just starting a YouTube channel in and of itself was an idea that I had for 3 years before I actually took the leap and did it.
Right.
And I wish I had done it 3 years before that when I had, thought of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone and don't be afraid of what other people are going to think because it doesn't matter. It's not them.
Nope, not their life.
That's hard. It's hard to not worry about what other people think.
It is very, yeah.
But once you can get out of that mindset, it's freeing.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. It said you have to. Oh, it was just today with Emily. You have to be comfortable with who you are before you can become something for someone else. You have to understand what you got going on for yourself, what your priorities are going to be, what your desires are.
Yeah.
That was just an interesting one coming from
I think
Emily.
you guys need to be like the Yes Man. Have you seen that show?
No.
Jim Carrey,
Oh,
where he's got to say yes all the time.
Oh, the movie, yes.
Liar, liar.
Liar, liar.
Yeah.
No, is it liar, liar? I don't know what it is, but yes, he has to say yes to everything. That was like when you asked me to do a podcast. It's like, whatever, let's just do it. Yes, I'm in. I wouldn't be here today if we didn't, right? I told you about my story when I was in Vegas. Yeah, just say yes. You might end up somewhere really cool.
Or have a good story. Well,
have a good story.
I came across a good story in the restroom about 20 minutes ago.
A good story in the restaurant.
Yeah, there's a good line in there. It's kind of like the women's restroom, I
Is this-
think.
It was a good story.
Is this a story you can tell here right now in this booth?
It is. It is. It's going to be a public service announcement.
Yeah.
There are no paper towels left in the bathrooms.
Right.
Okay.
So
Drip dry.
out of paper towels. Didn't know that. So, yes, finished doing what I was doing, went and washed my hands, and went to the paper towel dispenser, and there was nothing there. So I actually went back and washed my hands again because I just touched the paper towel dispenser. As I'm walking out, the guy goes, "Oh, there must be no paper towels." Well, yeah, I'm doing this with my hands. If you can't see this, you should go to YouTube and watch. And his words were, "Yeah, I'm not going to wash mine. I know where I have all been, but I don't know what all has been in here." and I'd pause for a moment. Like I stopped outside that door and I went, what? What does that even mean? I know where all I have been, but I don't know what has all been in here.
In the bathroom?
In the bathroom.
I'd say everything's been in there.
Right. That doesn't mean don't wash your hands.
I think it means just don't piss on your hands and you're good. Like it's that simple.
You still go wash your hands. So I want to find him.
All right, fair enough.
We're going to have to find him. He had a red hat on.
That narrows it down.
That narrows it down. Carhartt logo, maybe? Yeah, no.
That's right, yes. Carhartt logo, red hat.
Yeah.
Boots, pair of jeans.
Got one, Dave?
Sure. So Royce Johns, singer, songwriter, said, "Don't trust everything they say." I'm guessing as you grew YouTube, you were kind of like cautious, like, who do I trust? Where do I go? Consider what they say and listen, but make your own decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that for everything in life.
Hey, what about on the farm? Because the farm grew as your YouTube grew, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a farm's a business like any other business, so, you know, you want to keep moving forward and you want to grow. But, yeah, you got to make your own decisions for yourself, and just because the neighbor does something one way doesn't mean you have to do it that same way. If you don't, it may open you up to criticism, which goes back to what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's not his farm.
True.
It's yours.
I think that's been the best thing that I've gotten from social media is you're in this little bubble growing up that you think it has to be done the way your grandpa did it or the neighbor does it, and then you get on this Twitter or Facebook or TikTok and realize you got a guy over in Illinois or Minnesota or whatever that's doing it differently, and it works for them.
Right.
I didn't know you could do it that way.
Yep.
It's a resource. I love it. This guy grows mint.
So do you have any?
Carries it around in his pocket,
I
actually.
didn't
That's
even
weird.
know there was mint. Yeah.
So do you have any fun projects on the farm that you're going to be taking on next year or two?
Well, we took most of our projects on over the last year after the storm came through. So we ended up building, had a new shed built last fall, finally got put up the week of Thanksgiving. Then we had a new bin built to replace the one we lost here earlier this summer. We're still working on that. The bin and the floor are there, but we can't get grain in or out of it yet. So it's, as of right now, it's just a big tin can.
How do you plan to get grain in it?
Well, they're hopefully going to come out and finish that so that we can. Otherwise, we can't.
Yeah, it's not a leg or an auger.
Oh, as far as that goes, they got to pipe an air system into it.
Yep.
So it'll be an air system, and then we're going to have a double run at the top also.
Double run.
Yeah.
So you haven't used the air system yet?
Well, the air system we've had for a while, but
Okay.
not into that bin.
Okay.
So there's nothing plumbed into that bin.
Gotcha.
So I got myself a Sukup air system as well. I wanted the leg, couldn't afford it, and so
Even with
yeah.
the podcast?
No. Yeah, you know what? A leg, just not even the leg. The structure for the leg. Have you
Yeah.
ever priced that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's almost as much as one of these tractors.
Just to be 200 foot in the air, 150 feet in the air?
120, 130, something like that. So,
Yeah.
and then you just things you don't think about. How much has to go underground when you go that tall, and if you add stairs to it, you have to get engineering involved because there's wind shear. You know, because we get 130 mile an hour derecho winds once in a while. So,
Once in a while.
yeah.
If you take what Tony Latcham said, he says, don't stress, don't worry about it. Just put the leg up.
Just put the leg up.
Just put the leg up.
Pull the trigger.
Oh, he said more words. He said, enjoy your time. Life is too short. It passes by in the blink of an eye.
It makes more sense when you read the whole quote.
Yes, it does. That was just a really poor attempt at the joke.
Just like
part of it.
any media, yeah. You only took the part
That's
you
right. I
wanted.
just did
Yeah,
the
yeah,
headline.
you
That's all I did.
You
Yep. Don't stress about it. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Take your time. Enjoy it. And that's hard. We just were having that conversation about our time here at Farm Progress Show today. We are busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Everyone says that. We got to find a way to not say that. How do we say that?
When somebody asks you, how's it been? You're just like, I'm busy.
Right.
It's been busy. I've been
Everyone's busy.
good. Yeah.
So what do we say?
I try and
instead
tell
of
them
I've
what you're
been-
busy with.
I've been good busy. Oh. We don't have an answer for this.
that? No.
I always just go with living the dream.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Somebody else's dream, maybe, but it
Yeah,
could be
that's
a
what I followed up with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whose dream it is, but I'm living it.
Yeah. Hopefully they're happy with the way it ends.
See how the old boy said, better than I deserve.
Better
That's
not
a good
deserve.
one, too,
That is-
yeah.
I like that one.
You know, there are a lot of cattle guys say that. You know,
Yeah.
if I was any better, I'd have to be something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Busier than a one-armed paper hanger.
A one-armed what?
Paper hanger?
Paper.
paper hanger.
I've never heard that
Hold the
one.
paper. You never, oh man, there's all these good quotes from. Got to go to coffee with the old boys.
That's pretty good.
All right, I'll get to the next one. Elaine Fraze. We've had her on 3 or
Yeah.
4 times talking about farm transitions and all that kind of stuff. She says, be aware of what your strengths are, know what you're good at, and what you should be valued at. Have family meetings because you can't assume everyone wants and feels the same as you. Are we getting applause?
That's what I wondered.
Elaine was.
Elaine's probably
Yeah,
here.
Elaine was.
Yeah, the family meetings is pretty big. We started doing that after she did. Do you guys try to sit down and have the family meetings, or
It just doesn't happen.
It
We're
just
too
doesn't.
busy.
too busy?
Do you have safety meetings?
Just you and the dog.
No.
Like,
Yeah, me and the dog have lots of meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the second part of that? Do you know what you're good at?
Oh, I think so. It's pretty hard to be self-aware of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody has a sense of what their strengths and weaknesses are if you're honest with yourself.
Yep. So do you try to do more of what you're good at and let others do the pieces that maybe you could work on?
I've gotten to be more that way. Yeah. You know,
I concur.
used to be a little too proud. If I wasn't good at something, I was going to figure it out anyway, and now it's kind of the opposite. No, I'll just go do what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what took our podcast to the next level. Was, it's been Tanner's baby. There's no hiding that, and he edited everything and did most of the work. Still does a lot of the work, but when he could finally give up control of the things that was causing him the most stress, and he could just focus on what he's good at, I mean, we just jumped, tenfold.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it took stress away.
Oh,
So it improved what you were trying to do already.
Yeah, made it more fun.
Yeah.
It's so much more pleasant to be around. Shut up. I mean, it's still not great.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is
Yeah,
as good as it
way
gets.
better.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This is
I mean, you're
rough.
still a banker.
We still have
hasn't improved that.
Now
we
you made
still
it
have to hang
personal.
up with him tomorrow
I know, right?
Yeah.
and drive back with him.
Well, I'll go with Tanner's quote. Go do it. You're never going to be ready. I like this. People say, when are you going to have kids? As soon as you get married. Like, you can't have kids till you get married, but boy, golly, as soon as you get married, everybody asks you, when are you having kids? When are you going to have kids? Just go do it.
Just go do
You're
it.
never ready. You are never ready was the point of that.
What? And I will say from the banking side of things, the conversations about those that sit in my office and do some budget preparation, and there's conversations around, well, we'll never be able to afford a family. It always figures itself out. Life adjusts, your way of living adjusts, but the damnedest thing about the fact that I said that is I don't do this. I still need to go back and listen to myself, because there's times to where we've got ideas and we don't just go do it.
That's true. We get to the point of almost doing it a lot, so that it's
I asked you
whatever
that last
happened to
night.
that? Yeah.
It's like, what happened to that idea? Well, we did.
Well,
It happened.
I think we were self-aware enough, though, in those situations that we knew we couldn't
Yet.
do it quality. Yeah, it's not that it's not going to happen, but we
You're
know
too busy.
we know when we need to pull the trigger.
Now, listen, he said he would have started 3 years earlier.
I know it.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And learn as you go.
I just wasn't ready.
Just wasn't ready.
So we need to take our own advice and just hire help.
You're never
We're
fully
not
ready.
good, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk to Zach about hiring him when we get done with this.
Here we go. So what would it take? Look at the time. Look at the time.
You don't want to know.
Well, that's the fun part that I enjoy about portions of our audience. So we have a unique show structure that is supposed to be entertaining and educational. We try to merge those two together. Sometimes it doesn't always happen, right? And it just becomes educational.
Remember, the question was, what would you tell yourself at 18? You didn't listen to yourself at 18. You still don't now.
I know.
So
makes
you probably
it tough.
That's some of these are more specific, like Corey's. Be more specific of 18.
Right.
But it's not just like
Right.
feel good, be good.
So Nick Chulis, I
Is
said
how you
that
say
right?
it? Yeah.
I don't know. I assume it is. Nick Chulis, Farmer's Keeper. If anybody follows him on Snapchat, he said, be a sponge. Absorb and learn as many questions as you can. You have the energy and the time and less commitments. You can really throw yourself into learning your craft. Totally immerse yourself in learning. I mean, it's a really long one.
It is.
Who do I want to be, not what do I want to be? Look at people further along in life that are more successful and have more experience. So yeah, kind of interesting there is a lot of our attentive audience is doing that. They're being a sponge. They're choosing to listen. They're choosing to watch.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We've had a lot of conversations about what the future of TV is. Is it?
That's a really interesting one.
Does
isn't
it become more millennial farmer YouTube?
Yeah. Well, it's all streaming, right? It's all Netflix and Hulu and whatever on demand type of stuff versus.
We used to have to watch whatever, wait until the time when it came on.
Yeah, we had channels 7, 10, and 42.
You couldn't record it. You couldn't wait for it. You had to.
Do they still make a TV guide?
I wonder that all the time. Can I find out what's going to be on at 7 o'clock on Tuesday?
Yeah.
That's true.
It's
there's
Channel
a
2,
digital
isn't it? Isn't Channel 2 the TV guide?
in the hotel rooms?
Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I've been here for, 3 days now? I have not turned the TV on once.
I haven't turned it
I don't know if it would
on
go
in my
on.
adult life.
I'm not sure if it would go on, though. I got a lot of outlets that don't work in my room.
Do you?
And a little bit of black on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yes. but that's a good point, right? So the further into that conversation last night was that he had watched his sons consume what they wanted to consume when they wanted to consume it. And they were constantly engaged. They were constantly learning or picking something out of what they were consuming. Gone are the days of watching Cheers and Seinfeld and MASH.
Unless you want to.
Well, that was my response. As I said, my wife and I will sit and do work on the podcast, laptops open, but we'll have Seinfeld on the TV. We've seen all of them, but that's what's on TV.
Yeah.
How many seasons of there are Seinfeld?
Like 19, I thought.
Oh, shit. My wife watches Friends like that. Just she's seen every episode 10 times.
Get sick of that?
Yes.
Yeah, I get sick of that one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else does your wife watch?
A lot of junk, a lot of stuff that I can't stand to sit and watch.
Yeah.
Probably Larson Farms.
Yeah. Yeah. That's mostly it. I like documentaries, like a good 1 hour documentary, because I can't stay awake any longer than that. So give me like a 1 hour documentary.
Yeah. I think Corey just came up with a neat TikTok for you to do. Is you need to have your wife watching Larson Farms, and you walk in on her, and she's like, "Oh crap!" Shuts her laptop really fast.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing. I swear.
Paying taxes.
That's what Justin paid taxes.
State Farm. Jake from State Farm. I think you could do it.
I think I could.
That would be good.
It seems like it would take some editing skills, though, and I don't have that figured out.
See?
She'd have to edit it.
She would have to edit it.
That would be dangerous. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to pick my own. And so going back to 18, I would have told myself to buy land however you can. I don't know if I would say that now, but back when I was 18, land was, oh gosh, I'm going to date myself here, but it was like $3-4 grand an acre.
Man, you are old.
And a sale just in our area sold for $14,275 this morning.
$275. Did you hear that? They cut it all the way down to 25s.
Dave doesn't do that.
Nope.
No.
If you can bid 25, you can bid 50.
Corey was in the crowd just.
No. I had no cell service.
Half, quarter.
I couldn't get cell service. I didn't even see the auction.
Yeah.
We're busy. Yep. See? Busy.
Too busy to buy land.
So would you
Yeah.
would you have taken Corey's advice? If you had the wherewithal, looking back on it, would you have bought more land? Would you have bought more equipment? Would you have bought more businesses outside of ag?
Well, that felt like 3 questions.
It was.
So to answer the first one, would I have bought more land? Probably not, because there's no more land that's been up for sale around us. It just doesn't move. It's locked down tight. Land does not move around us. More outside businesses, just really wouldn't have been an option until recently. There just wasn't really an opportunity for that.
Because we get a lot of conversations around diversifying, and that diversification word goes from we're going to do corn, soybeans, and have cattle.
Yeah.
Or we're going to have corn, soybeans, and a contract, either a poultry barn or a hog barn, to diversify income sources. And then we got way deeper, and I can't remember his Dale? Mike? I can't remember the name of the guest that was talking about outside investing, crowdsource investing into apartment buildings and real estate.
Oh, yeah.
And
I listened to that one while I was blowing snow.
wasn't that interesting?
Yeah, it was.
That there's groups in agriculture pooling their money to buy investments outside of ag
Yeah.
to generate cash flow.
Yeah, some people are corn, soybeans, a YouTube channel, and a shooting partner.
That's right.
I don't know if you can be more diversified than that. It's all about mitigating risk.
Oh, you could. I got some ideas.
I got some ideas.
Okay.
I'll go with Jackie Wilson. Saw her this morning. Flying Diamond Beef says life will have challenges. Keep a positive attitude, think about the big picture, and do things for others. So a little bit of giving back, and I think a positive attitude is the main portion of that whole deal. Is there's a whole lot of negative. Well, you're on Twitter,
Yeah.
so yeah, you get the drift. Keep a positive attitude.
I'm on X.
You're on X.
Yeah. What is that? Zach, what do you do now instead of tweeting? What is it?
I don't know. Do you X? You cross out?
Do you cross up? What is it?
I don't know.
Why? I don't even know why did he do that? What's the idea behind?
Because
that?
we're talking about it right now, probably.
Because you leave your mark.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
You leave your mark.
Yeah, X marks the spot. Leave your mark.
I just figured he was young and bought up a web domain, had bought X.com thinking it was funny, and finally had an excuse to put it to use.
He probably did.
Is that what it is? You can go to x.com and that's Twitter?
Yeah.
Do you think he's got every other letter of the alphabet?
I don't know.
Dave, get on it right now.
I don't know. GoDaddy.
We're
Yeah.
going to start renaming companies to letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you're typing it in, it is easier to remember and spell.
I don't like that it kind of looks like the TikTok app.
Yeah. Black,
Yeah.
same color scheme. Yeah.
Makes
It's
it
right next to TikTok on my phone.
Well,
now that you say that.
If the
Fat
government
finger.
outlaws TikTok, then he's got old Vine that used to be Twitter, and maybe he wanted it to look like TikTok. This is all strategy, I bet.
I do miss Vine. Did you get on Vine?
No, I never was, but
No. Just YouTube and MySpace.
Just MySpace. I was waiting for
MySpace,
MySpace.
ICQ.
What's that?
I think you said that the last time we had a conversation. You
That's
and
probably
Randy
the
were
last time I
talking
talked
about.
about it.
You and Randy were talking about that.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what that is?
No.
No.
Well, if we talked about it last time, then I'll skip it.
What
You
is
gotta go
Randy
back.
up to? I haven't seen him for a while.
He's working.
Yeah. He's busy.
He's busy. Yeah.
Jason Cope said to understand that perseverance is an important factor. Stay focused so you can achieve and accomplish. Minimize the background noise. We had to do that with our mics earlier today.
Yeah.
Was to get rid of some of those high-pitched whinings to make sure everybody could stay focused on what we're doing. Do it in a way, though, that is good for yourself but also good for others. So that kind of ties into what Jackie was saying about taking care of others. We had an interview with Gavin Spohr and Ethan Clark, and Gavin and Ethan both framed up that you have to be aware in your community that everybody's watching. And that doesn't mean, they're trying to spy on you or keep an eye on you. They're watching for you to do good things because that makes them feel good about you doing good things, which potentially allows you for new opportunity.
I got a question on that. So everybody's watching, right? I'll ask you this, Zach. I work out with a gal. She's a principal, and she says, Dave,
And she watches you?
I always have to be the principal, no matter where I'm at. And I'm like, well, yeah, but there's times when you're not the principal. You're mom, you're whatever, you're go to the game, you're tailgate person. You can say, nope, I have to be the principal all the time. Well, you're a guy that gets watched a lot.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to be on point all the time? Or do you finally just say, you know what, I don't even care?
I'm going to say in my case, so in the case of the principal, I can see that, right?
Yep.
I understand that. I get that. Everywhere she goes, if she wants to sit down and have a beer, there's another family or the family of a kid over there watching the principal have a
Yep.
beer, whatever,
Don't
right?
pick that job.
Right.
Got it.
No more
Like-
principles.
That does seem like something you just can't escape from.
Yeah.
Until you leave your community,
Yeah.
right? For me, with what I've done, I've never been anything different than myself. So I don't feel like I ever have to worry about that. I just don't. That doesn't seem like a thing to me. I don't feel trapped in having to be the millennial farmer because the millennial farmer is me.
I got it. Very
Yeah.
good.
How sad is that she feels that way, and that's her career that's supposed to be a 40-hour-a-week job, and it's her whole life.
That's what I
not
thought.
worth having.
She's like, I would have to go to like Germany or somewhere where no one knew me to do. I'm like, I don't know what she wants to do. I'm just saying, the fact that you have to be on point principal all the time, but I guess it'd be like being the president. You're always watched.
Did you just hear what you said? Aren't farmers on all the time?
Yes, but it's probably more because we love to do it. And if we don't want to be on, go to the lake,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, it kind of goes back again to where if you're going to judge me for being a farmer and enjoying some time off, then go ahead and judge me.
Well, and relatable is what farmers like. And that's exactly.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she didn't grow up playing principal.
How do you do that?
No, I don't know.
You line up a bunch of
You
stuffed
boss people
animals as
around and-
teachers? Yeah.
Send them to detention.
You need to use your your work hours better.
You need to call me doctor.
You can't.
You're not a doctor.
You're not a doctor.
Doctor.
You have a doctorate.
Well, this kind of goes into what Viren said, which another. What is he? He's the most attractive short man. No,
Yeah.
fat guy.
That's what he calls himself.
He called himself
Yeah.
most attractive fat guy
In agriculture.
in agriculture.
Yeah.
Keep taking chances. Don't worry about others' perception of you. Do your own thing and go for it. That's hard.
And he's done a lot of stuff and gone for a lot of stuff.
He has.
Wrapping bales and products and all that stuff. That was a good one.
Is there a farmer adage to Michael Jordan's, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? Should we make one?
It seems like maybe you've already made one.
I haven't. I'm asking. Like right now, hot on the spot. Do we have anything?
Dave, just go do it.
You don't grow any seed that you don't plant.
I like that.
There you go.
You reap what you sow. Maybe that
There
was
you go.
It was already there.
It was already there.
It wasn't. It so wasn't.
You think that's what
You're
the
the
guys?
first one to say that.
That's great. We should start saying that. Yeah.
That's probably what they're saying when they're going across. They're the guys that are out there 2 weeks too early, and the soil's 30 degrees, and it's like, if I don't plant it, it ain't gonna grow.
Don't plant it.
Well, the last one we have on this list, except for Dave's, is Jacqueline Leffler. Not Jackie. We learned that.
Yep.
Jacqueline. No matter how you grew up in life, no one can take away your education. But I would change now, in her opinion, the word education to experience. If you can figure out that the sky is the limit, you're going to go far. There's no limit to success. If you have that mentality, you have success already. Her episode was the last recap episode of what does success look like to you. So she sat in your role, Zach, and gave that answer. And I don't think she's wrong.
No.
I got more out of the experiences since college than I ever did in the education that I got while I was there. But I wouldn't trade having gone to college for something else.
I think you go to college to learn how to learn and deal with other people sometimes. But then I also learned you don't have to go to college.
See, I think you go to college for, like, when I want to hire people that went to college. Here's why. Because they can complete a goal. So they set a goal, they finished it, right? I don't even care if it's basket weaving. You set a goal and you finished it. The second thing is you can put up with somebody's bull crap. What I mean by that is I guarantee during your time at college there was a class that you didn't want to go to or an assignment that you didn't want to do. Now I'm the employer, or a job that I would like you to go do that you're going to do it because you want to complete the goal. I like that. I like the fact that you want to do it I don't even care what your degree is, but it tells me a couple things about you, that you can complete a goal, you can set a goal, and you can put up with a little BS.
Right. I don't know how he's this philosophical at the end of day 2 at Farm
I
Progress.
tell you what, got all the good stuff. Go back to when I was 18. What I would tell myself, don't be in such a hurry to grow up. Because I wanted to do nothing but work and didn't want to go to college and just wanted to get right into it. And there is some cool experiences and some relationships I probably would have made at college, but I was in a hurry to grow up. So I would tell myself, be patient.
Did you go to college?
I went to tech school.
Same here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tech school for what?
High performance engine building.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I went to school to learn how to build race car engines.
How has racing been?
It's been a decent year, decent summer.
Yeah.
We've got a good car right now, so we got a few big shows left, and hopefully we can make them go our way.
Are you coming down to nationals in Boone?
In Boone,
Yeah.
we don't run any IMCA stuff.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I've always been curious about that comment. Well, we've got a good car right now. Is that like Corey saying, well, we've got a good sprayer right now? How does that, what does that terminology mean?
It means that any track, for me, what I mean by that right now is any track we go to under any condition, our car is pretty balanced. We're going to be running good. We're competitive right now. There's times where you spend a year or two and you just struggle. You know, you're just not up to par. And you're just fighting, trying to find the balance of the car and find what it wants, find what you want, figure out how to set it up at different tracks. When you get the balance of the car and things are right, that's when it's good. That's when you start picking off wins.
So it's not that you feel like you have 20 extra horse or anything like that. It's just balance.
No, it's the balance of the car, yeah.
So is that like a farming deal too? Like when you're combining, when you're harvesting, like the right speed, the right, you got your cart drivers are coming at the right. It's where we have no downtime. Like everything's set up just perfect to where we're just getting enough, just unloading right. All the trucks are going just right.
Yeah, and nobody has to talk on the radio for 6 hours, and you knock out 100 acres, right?
There you go.
Everybody's got the rhythm going.
Yep.
But then you move to the next field, and you're screaming at each other on the radio while you take out end rows.
Yep.
That's the difference.
Corey, I'm going to hear you say that on the radio. It's like that. My combine is just, we got a good combine right now.
Yeah, I got a good combine.
Got a good
right now.
combine
Feeling
right
good
now.
about it.
Feel good about it.
season.
Yeah.
Yields are okay.
Look at this. We're coming up with content while making content.
Yeah.
I think we
That's
could.
art.
It is.
I still think Corey's always had the idea of putting on a racing suit with all the sponsor patches
Yep.
for Farm for Profit.
Oh,
I,
jeez.
I actually I suggested that to Farm Focus that does all my shirts one time. I'm like, why don't we come up with like a NASCAR shirt? So every company I work with is on
Yeah.
the shirt. They thought that was a terrible idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they have
Get
that
Big
bad
Newtons
taste.
on the.
Then the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of not like it might be funny, but I don't think that's not a hot seller.
It's one of those you make 10 and it's a
Yeah.
limited edition.
Yeah, or I
Yeah.
just wear one day and don't say anything about it and just watch the comments.
Just run against Tony and get for president. Just put your name on it.
That's a good idea.
You guys could have the
Then
political
I could
debate.
do like a-
We'd be the moderators. This would be great.
You know, sorry, go ahead.
I could put in like a 30-second ad at the end of it slamming Tony. It's like something he said 15 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
When you put a new shirt out, so you came out with a Farm Around and Find Out, right? Isn't
Yes.
that yours?
Yeah.
And that just came out a couple months ago.
Yeah.
How many do you sell? Like, it's crazy. It's got.
It's a very wide range of like from the good ones to the ones that don't sell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally from 0 to 10,000. And I think that's been a good shirt, but honestly, I haven't talked to him yet to see how that one's doing.
Really?
I like it. I think that's a great shirt.
Yeah. I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
But I do think it would be funny, too, if you saw these politicians standing up and they had to wear the logos of all of their sponsors.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
So that we might start a trend that moves over into politics.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
I think that's probably right now is the most politics we've ever talked about on this podcast.
I think so.
How deep do we want to get?
Nope. We're going to
Did
skate.
you guys see that?
Yeah, the pipeline thing.
Oh, I was actually ready to segue into something away from politics, and it's this fly. I think we're going to have to call this episode the
Yeah.
fly episode. It has pestered
every one of
all
our
of
faces.
us.
Yeah.
So they are. You're going to have to go to YouTube and watch just to see which one of us, because I almost hit you just to end it. Zach's getting
There
it
it
right
is.
now.
There it is. Did you guys watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I have.
Remember the fly episode?
Yes.
Yes.
That was a weird one, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh yeah.
That's
There were
funny.
several weird episodes on that.
God, I didn't. Yeah, I hadn't remembered that.
None as weird as the fly episode.
Yeah.
That's
Yep. You wrote some things down there. What do you
I was
got?
going to say, what was your point of this? Were you having him make something?
No, I just was going through these. We just get to spend time with Zach, but I think he knows.
Did you write your own? What would you tell yourself at 18?
I did because I felt the pressure like that was probably coming, so I was rolling through that in my own head. And I wrote down, I don't know if you were watching or not, but I wrote mine down because I wanted to put it into some words. And I wrote it before you read Jacqueline's quote here. But it would kind of branch off of hers. But I wrote that your success shouldn't be measured by your acres, your money, or your work hours. Concentrate on quality of life and being happy.
Work
like that.
hours. Work hours. That's tough. We all know the people that are proud of the hours that they work.
I saw, so I'll give Twitter or X a little credit for this, but I saw on there a couple of months ago somebody mentioned something about, farming doesn't need to be a competition of who can work themselves to death the quickest.
Yeah.
And that's true. Right? Nobody else does that, do they? Other industries wouldn't take pride in that.
Yeah.
The electrician that wired the new studio doesn't work weekends unless there's an emergency.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how do you deal with that? Because he owns his own business. He goes,
Yeah.
well, it took a long time
Yeah.
for me to discipline myself. And now I don't answer. And my voicemail says that if this is in case of an emergency, you need to call another number, which is just a Google number that comes back to his phone. But he knows that that's
That's an emergency coming through.
Yeah.
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 He says, sometimes I still answer those, and it's people that their outlet doesn't work and the TV won't turn on. And I
Right.
can classify that as a non-emergency. But sometimes it's a branch fell on a line,
Yeah.
and we really have an emergency.
Yep.
But I thought that was kind of neat because you think of farmers as business owners. That's what we've preached on this podcast for so long is we want you to farm more like a business, be more profitable. and other business owners take weekends off.
Right.
See, that almost ties into what he said. It almost ties into one of the other questions we asked. How do you define success?
Yeah.
And when I think of that, your work hours, it's not a race, as you said, it's not a race to the who can work the most. Sometimes it is, because we've been somewhat brainwashed that success is money, and so that takes more work hours and more work hours to make that happen. But yeah, success might not be that for everybody.
Right. Yeah, it's flexible, right? Mm-hmm. Success for all you guys is probably different than what I would view it as for me.
Right. You're right.
I'm good with a big score in golf, but Tanner's not. I can tell you that. Success is just making it to the 18th hole.
Yeah.
And I still have balls in my bag,
Right.
Hey, sometimes that's how I gauge the round of golf, is how many balls I found compared to what I lost. Yeah. But I found those looking for one that I had lost.
Have you played the golf game where each beer you drink, you get one less point?
I have not.
I think I'd be a little more successful.
You
with
think
that
you'd be more successful?
if I could golf like that? I might rival Tanner.
You might.
Yeah.
It's worth trying.
Yeah.
I'll try anything once.
Yeah.
Right? So what's on the horizon for Zach? What's coming up? What's new? Any fun projects you're working on?
Boy, specifically right now, I mean, nothing's jumping out to me as far as being totally out of the box. We're kind of getting ready for harvest, and
Yep, time to start filming harvest content.
yeah. So that's always busy. It's kind of weird. Harvest is obviously our busiest time on the farm, and then we've doubled down on making it the busiest time because that's when we produce the most content on the YouTube channel as well. So
Yep.
New cameras this year or anything? New
Nope.
equipment?
I've always got new cameras because I destroy them.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's an expensive hobby, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, I have a drawer full of cameras that, I mean, they're junk. I should just throw them away,
Yep.
but it's like, you don't want to, right?
Yep.
Paid money for it.
You
But,
got a new sprayer, didn't you? With the
We did. We
with
got
the
a
John Deere technology on it.
Yeah, we got a 410R and put a bunch of upgrades on that, and it was a big upgrade from our 4830.
So you're doing the See and Spray stuff?
We're not doing the See and Spray just because when it kind of came down to looking at how much residual chemical we're always putting on, and then we bought a used sprayer, so you can't really. It was tough to do that because you can't get two different tanks on there, where you have a residual tank and the See and Spray tank.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But I've seen that technology work, and it's crazy. I mean, the places where they need and can benefit from that is going to be a game changer.
Yep. Do you get the fast fill system?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, it fills really quickly.
Okay. Well, because I just know so that
I
Sage.
thought you knew.
Yeah, Sage said, "Hey, we got Millennial Farmer sprayer over here, a mile from my place. They upfit
Okay.
for deer,
Yeah.
and they said they were putting it on there.
Oh,
So-
it probably does that.
So you've got fast fill.
It'll take it as fast as we can push it.
Did
Yeah.
you also find the present Corey left for you in the cab?
Not. It would have been good though.
It would have been funny.
It would have been good though.
Yes.
I
No.
did when I bought the first 780 we had. There was a note in the refrigerator from like just some kids in that town that had heard I had bought that combine.
Okay.
And they wrote a note, gave it to their sales guy buddy, and he put it in the fridge in the combine.
That's funny.
That's
it was
cool.
pretty funny.
That's dedication.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Absolutely. That's good. Well, I would say this has been a fun conversation, but that wasn't going to be your challenge.
No.
Oh,
You did extra
geez.
credit because we've got a new question.
You changed it up on me.
We do because we're going to create another episode summarizing all of the answers from.
Got a holding
Farm
page,
progress.
blank sheet.
That's pretty easy.
It is easy.
It is.
What do you enjoy most about being a farmer or farming?
I got to pick like one thing?
No, it could just be the answer of what you enjoy most. It's been fun to get some of these answers, guys, that we've had specific to the interactions with other people or specifically to I love driving tractor.
Yep.
And then some get really broad and really insightful. So no pressure.
I would say if I'm going to pick one thing, because I'm going to keep it a little shorter, I would say raising my kids on the farm is probably the most rewarding, and raising them, being able to see, the cycle of life and what it takes to work hard and watch a crop come to fruition every year. And if you got livestock, I have to imagine it's that much more rewarding and there's that much more experience involved with it. So that's what I would say would be raising my kids on the farm.
Yeah. Would you agree, Dave?
Yeah, next gen. I was thinking even in my case, and because my wife's the farmer, so I enjoy watching her enjoy it.
You just enjoy watching her, period.
Yes.
As you should.
we had at the Iowa State Fair in the Ag Education Building where they have sows giving birth to piglets and cows having calves and chickens laying eggs. But this year they had a John Deere cab that kids could climb in and take a picture. I don't know how you could take a picture through the windshield for all the fingerprints and handprints on it. But my daughter saw the line, and we said, you guys want to get in there and take a picture? And she goes, no, I'll take a picture when I'm driving one.
There you go.
So just, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I like that answer.
Well, cool.
That's good. Zach, if our listeners don't know who you are, for some reason, how do they find you?
I'm a professional golfer. No, the best place would be YouTube. Head over to Millennial Farmer on YouTube, but it's Millennial Farmer on everything. So I've got Instagram and Facebook as well. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of on TikTok, like off and on, but I'm over there.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
You had a busy day, and hopefully you had a little bit of fun with us.
I did, for sure.
Listeners, I hope you had some fun too. And just in case, Corey, why don't you send them out?
Oh, I always say crack a Busch Light. You deserve it.